Hola, 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 hola. Hola, ahora sí que estoy con las justas para el evento de Nvidia, estoy trabajando y me deja un tema muy pesado. Voy a entrar ahorita mismo, voy a entrar con unos amigos de Discord y me han dejado sin cámara, ahora les explico por qué. Ah, ah, ah. Linton.
Entró Miguel Yadó, no Michu, Miguel Yadó.
¿Sí, Linton?
¿Estás en chamba?
Sí. Puta, dejé mi celular en el counter. ¿Dónde dejé mi celular?
Ah, uy, ya empezó, ¿ah?
Sí, sí, ya empezó.
Tengo miedo, no sé, ojalá no sé, ojalá consuma menos energía y cueste más barato.
¿Qué cosa?
Ojalá no cueste tan caro y no consuma tanta energía.
No, la 3070 ya se sabe cuánto va a consumir. Sí, sí, normal. Las otras sí consumen.
30-70, por eso todavía no sale.
No, debería salir en un mes fácil. Pero quién sabe.
¿Cuánto va a consumir la 3070?
¿Qué cosa?
¿Cuánto salió que consumiría la 3070?
220 en total.
Claro. ¿Cuánto salió que consumiría la 3070? Entonces me compro otra fuente.
No, sí, sí entra. No es el TDP, es el TGP, o sea, es ya total, total. O sea, lo máximo, máximo.
Welcome
No.
to my kitchen.
Oye, el chino Juan.
I hope all of you are staying
Entonces me
safe.
compro otra fuente.
We're going to talk
Ajá.
about an amazing GPU today. Modern GPUs
Pero,
are
oye, necesito
technology
mi celular, ¿dónde
wonders.
está?
It is the engine
No
of
voy a ver los
large
comentarios.
industries from
No,
design,
acá está.
cloud AI, to scientific computing. But it
Ah,
is
no
the
importa.
gamers and their insatiable demand that is the driving force of the GPU. Pulling the
¿Qué es lo
GPUs
cocina?
to create the largest distributed computer ever. A million gamers united to counterstrike the COVID-19 coronavirus. The result
Tanto
was
coronavirus. Siempre tiene que
2.8
tener ese metaflops.
exaflops, 5 times the processing power of the world's largest supercomputer to simulate the virus. Folding at home was able to simulate 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second in the life of the coronavirus, and captured the moment it opens its mouth to infect a human cell. Scientists believe this is also its moment of weakness. Thank you all for joining this historic fight. We're going to talk about computer graphics and the work we're doing to push the boundaries. We love computer graphics
Oye, voy a
and
buscar mi
have
celular,
advanced it
voy.
incredibly in the
No creo
time
que
of
diga nada
COVID.
tan rápido.
As the technology advanced, the expressiveness of the medium has made graphics an invaluable tool to help us understand our world,
Oye, voy a buscar mi celular.
create and explore new
No creo
worlds,
que diga nada tan rápido.
tell stories that inspire us. From science to industry to the arts, computer graphics has made a profound impact on the world, and for that, we are privileged to have contributed. We're going to talk about gaming and the infinite ways that gaming is expanding. GeForce PC gaming is large and thriving. Its open and rapidly advancing technology, combined with the amazing creativity of the community, makes magic. Anyone could be a broadcaster now. Add a GeForce and you have a personal broadcast station. Pros stream their practices. Experts stream tips and tricks. Friends stream
Androl
to
sacó el
friends just to
número
hang
1.
out. There are
Ah.
over
¿Quién te
20 million
sacó
streamers. Games have become a new art.
Ya anunciaron la
In
3090.
Minecraft, gamers can build their work of art.
Androl sacó el
Machinima
número
artists
A
create
ver.
cinematics.
No, no, mentira. No están hablando de.
No,
Tens of
si acabo de
millions
comenzar
of
hace 3
amazing games
minutos.
to
¿Qué
express
está
their
hablando, Micho?
creativity. Inside a computer simulation, any sport can become esport.
Lo que quiero saber es el
Virtual
precio.
NASCAR and F1 are already
No, si
attracting
acabo de
top
comenzar hace 3
racers.
minutos. Ojalá sea un precio bajo para que
Esports captures the thrill
AMD
of
baje
victory and
todavía
the
más el
agony
precio
of
de sus
defeat,
tarjetas
and
grandes.
the human drama
AMD creo que va a
of
presentar
competition.
fácil en un mes,
Esports
2
is on its
meses.
way to be the
Ojalá
biggest
sea un
sport.
precio bajo para que...
I've
El
sent a
que
special
está
follow
leyendo
to
y la
GeForce
juegas así
gamers around the world.
toda la vida.
4 gifts.
AMD
Sí,
da
pues.
su tarjeta un mes después.
And you'll find
Digo,
new ways to get.
Nvidia da su tarjeta un mes después.
First,
AMD da su
big
tarjeta.
news.
Luego
Fortnite is turning
Nvidia lanza su
RTX
tarjeta
on.
que de
Now
más
La
Minecraft
Super.
and
económica.
Fortnite, the number one and
La saca la Super o las
most played
TI
games in the
contrarrestar.
world, have RTX on.
Fortnite tiene
Fortnite will
RTX.
get ray trace shadows,
Oh.
reflections, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2. These effects look
Bro.
fantastic with the art style of Fortnite.
Pero no sirve, pues, porque ¿te acuerdas que jugamos sin
With
sombras?
RTX on. The last
Sí,
one,
pues.
Travis Scott, was
Oye,
watched
con sombras
by
ultra se
20
ve
million
bravazo Fortnite. La
people.
verdad tiene
Epic
buen
made a trailer for
gráfico.
you.
Se ve bien chévere, pero puta.
No ves al enemigo.
Sí, pues.
Oye, con sombras se ve.
Porlas. Se ve bien chévere, pero puta. Oye, borré Fortnite, weón.
Oye, ¿qué te pasa? Oye, ¿por qué no ves mi stream? ¿Qué Eres malo.
Estoy viendo en Twitch, pendejo.
75% of
stream.
GeForce gamers play esports.
Cállese.
Esports is a game of milliseconds. Reaction time is a combination of the gamer and the machine. Let me
Estoy viendo
explain.
en Twitch, pendejo.
This is Valorant. In this example, the opponent is traveling at 1500 pixels per second, and it's visible in this opening for only 180 milliseconds. A typical gamer has a reaction time of 150 milliseconds from photon to action. You can only hit this opponent if your PC adds less than 30 milliseconds. Most gamers have latencies far greater than 30 milliseconds, many up to 100 milliseconds. Today, we're announcing a new esports technology called Nvidia Reflex. Nvidia Reflex optimizes the rendering pipeline across CPU and GPU to reduce latency by up to 50%. In September, we're releasing Reflex with our game-ready driver. Over 100 million GeForce gamers will instantly
Esa tecnología es
become
para
more
mejorar el tiempo.
Valorant, Fortnite,
Sí.
Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and Destiny 2 will be the first to integrate Reflex technology. Esports pros and enthusiasts strive for zero latency. For you, we're announcing an insanely fast and beautiful display. A 360 Hz G-Sync display designed for esports. This display has a built-in precision latency analyzer. Just connect your mouse. The Nvidia 360 Hz G-Sync esports displays are arriving this fall from Acer, Alienware, Asus, and MSI. We've made a video comparing gaming on a 60 Hz, 144 Hz, and 360 Hz display. You can see immediately how 360 Hz display will help you target and track an opponent.
No, que ya tiene ese
For the
montón,
20 million
creo.
live streamers, we have something
Vale,
really
yo
cool.
voy a tener esto con
NVIDIA
944.
Broadcast turns any room into a broadcast studio.
Oye, es un bravazo que ya te quita el fondo.
Trained by deep learning on NVIDIA's
Eso lo anunciaron el
GPUs,
año pasado.
one of the most powerful in the world. Effects like audio noise removal, virtual background effects whether graphics or video, and webcam auto framing is a virtual camera person tracking you. These AI effects are amazing. Available for download in September.
por las
and
huevas
runs
tengo
on
el
any
XSplit.
RTX GPU.
No, porque esto lo anunciaron el año pasado y lo habían
I'll
sacado.
now show you NVIDIA Broadcast.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon and I'm very excited today to talk to you about our NVIDIA
Oh, eso
Broadcast
sí está bravazo.
app.
Mucho floro, mano, mucho floro, ya que muestras tarjetas de
Video
mierda.
conferencing all day and then gaming and streaming all night. And I have a very basic webcam and microphone setup. NVIDIA Broadcast makes these things supercharged with a lot of new awesome features that really bring it out using the power of AI and RTX GPUs. The first one I want to talk about is
Pero es para las otras de X nomás esa
so
gracia.
I've asked my girlfriend to join me with a blow dryer here. And that distracting sound makes it very hard to understand what I'm saying. But when I turn on noise removal in NVIDIA Broadcast, you find that it's completely gone. That blow dryer is still
Eso es
gone.
como el RTX Voice.
But NVIDIA Broadcast is
Está bravazo.
awesome audio features. There's some really exciting video features.
Lo mutea por completo, weón.
Con el RTX Voice como que tengo yo
Which you
es
may notice
igualito.
that I need because I have a very cluttered and messy
Pero
room.
es de ellos, pues. Ahora está
When I
todo en
turn
uno
this
solo.
background blur feature on,
Lo mutea por
all of a sudden I get
completo,
this
weón.
really classy effect. And I can adjust the strength of that from low to high and everything in between.
Pero es de ellos, pues.
Como si tuvieras un
if I want,
XSplit.
I can actually replace the
Incluido,
background
yeah.
altogether. Now I'm in a space station with the magic of
Puta, y se
AI.
ve limpia la silla, weón.
That
No
easy.
se ve como que tan.
Or,
tanta
if I
sí.
want
huevada.
to jump into some gameplay, I
Lo único malo es que solo es con las RTX. Aunque por ahí alguien lo hace funcionar con todo.
And now I'm playing with a green screen effect without actually having to have one at home.
Lo único malo es
I
que
don't have
solo
to
es con
play
las
good,
RTX.
but at least I can look
Por
good.
ahí alguien lo hace funcionar con todo.
Now sometimes when I'm video conferencing or doing a just chatting stream, I want to zoom in to get a more personal connection with the audience. But the problem is I bounce around so much, it's easy for my head to get out of frame. With the auto frame feature,
Oye, a ver eso.
it's like having your own personal cameraman that follows you
Oye,
everywhere.
qué bravo.
So, if for example, I wanted to reach over and grab my cool Valorant hat
Oye, a ver eso.
Hasta
and
el
show it to
mueve, ¿no?
everybody,
Oye, qué
follows me every step of the
bravo,
way.
bro.
I just find NVIDIA
Rotísimo.
Broadcast to be really exciting, as both a streamer and as someone who works from home. The ability to remove
fue, me tengo
distracting
que comprar
noise,
eso.
improve your background, and keep yourself in the center of the frame are all awesome features in one app, and I just can't wait for you guys to try it.
A new form of art has emerged from gaming.
Sale en
called
septiembre. Sale...
machinima.
¿Cuándo salía
Artists
este
are
mes?
using game assets to create cinematics.
Eso
There are
bravazo.
tens of billions of views on YouTube. Most are shorts. Some are even recreating entire classic movies. It's becoming a whole new art genre. Today, I'm going to show you an app that will make these cinematics amazing. It's called Nvidia Omniverse Machinima. It's an app built on our Omniverse 3D workflow collaboration platform. Omniverse is a universal design tool asset exchange with a viewer based on photorealistic path tracing. The engine is designed to be physically accurate, simulating light, physics, material, and artificial intelligence. We have connectors for most third-party design tools, like 3ds Max, Maya, Photoshop, Epic Unreal, Rhino, and many more. The Machinima app brings in elements and assets from games, and third-party collections like TurboSquid, and lets you mix and compose them into a cinematic. Creators can use their webcam to drive our AI-based post-estimator to animate characters. Drive face
¿Qué es eso?
animation AI with your voice.
Eso es para
And
desarrollo web.
high-fidelity physics like particles and fluids. Make materials physically accurate. And then when done with your composition and
Okay.
mixing, render film quality cinematics with your RTX GPU. Nvidia Omniverse Machinima. Beta in October. Sign up at nvidia.com/machinima. Let me show you a demo we created in a few days. We started with assets from Mountain Blade 2, Banner Lord. You're gonna love this.
Whoa, that was close. You guys are getting better.
Joder, está bacana.
For 40 years, since NVIDIA researcher Turner Whitted first published his paper on ray tracing, computer science researchers have chased this dream to create super realistic virtual worlds with real-time ray tracing. NVIDIA, seeing the ultimate limits of rasterization approaching, focused intense efforts over the past 10 years to realize real-time ray tracing on a large scale. At SIGGRAPH 2 years ago, we announced the NVIDIA RTX. Now, 2 years later, it is clear we have reinvented computer graphics. NVIDIA RTX is a full-stack invention. RTX starts with a brand new GPU architecture, but it is so much more. It includes new engine tech and a bunch of new rendering algorithms. RTX is a home run. All major 3D APIs have been extended for RTX. RTX is supported by all major 3D tools. RTX tech is incorporated into all major game engines. There are hundreds of games in development and thousands of research papers of new rendering and AI algorithms enabled by RTX. The RTX GPU has 3 fundamental processors: the programmable shader that we first introduced over 15 years ago, RT Core to accelerate the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersections, an AI processing pipeline called Tensor Core. Tensor Core accelerates linear algebra that is used for deep neural network processing, the foundation of modern AI. AI is the most powerful technology force of our time. Computers that learn from data and write software that no humans can. The advances are nothing short of breathtaking. NVIDIA is doing groundbreaking work in this area. You might have seen our work in self-driving cars and robotics. Computer graphics and gaming will also be revolutionized by deep learning. Let me show you some recent works and the art of the possible. The first video is a generative adversarial network that has learned to synthesize virtual characters of any artistic genre, including photorealistic. Second is a neural network that animates a 3D face directly from voice.
You require more Vespine gas. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
The AI character can speak in any language, be any gender, and even rap and sing. Third is a character locomotion of infinite number of positions. Imagine negotiating arbitrary paths and obstacles. The fourth is reconstructing 3D from video. Imagine the possibilities. Record video, interact in 3D. This one is a deep learning model that learned the physics behavior of cloud animation. Finally, this deep learning model of ray tracing can predict colors of missing pixels, so that fewer rays need to be cast and fewer pixels need to be fully rendered. We can achieve orders of magnitude speedups. AI is certain to play a giant role in the future of computer graphics and gaming. The powerful Tensor Cores and RTX GPUs will let us do AI in real time. One of the first major AI computer graphics breakthroughs is DLSS. Here's the challenge. Real-time
Oye,
ray
el Lidl
tracing is far
es
more beautiful,
demasiado
but
bueno.
requires
Tienes
a
que ver,
lot
tienes
more
que ver eso.
computation per pixel than rasterization.
A ver.
So the solution is to ray trace fewer pixels and use AI on tensor cores to upres to
O
superres
sea, en
to
resumen,
a
esa
higher
cosa
resolution
la
and
activas
boost frame rate.
y el juego como
DLSS took nearly
que
2 years of
se
intense
genera menor
research.
calidad,
We built a
pero con una
supercomputer
inteligencia
to train the network.
artificial
The DLSS model is trained on
aumenta la
extremely high
resolución
quality
y en realidad no
16K
pierdes nada hasta
offline
ganas
audio
calidad
images of
y el
many
rendimiento
kinds of
aumenta
content.
como 50,
Once trained, the
60%.
model is downloaded into your driver.
Mm.
At runtime,
Es
DLSS
un montón.
2.0 takes in low resolution, alias image and motion.
O sea, si tienes 100 FPS pasas a 160, 150, así solo por activar esa cosa.
Hola.
Es un
No,
montón.
mierda.
I think DLSS
Sí.
is one of our biggest
Es una
breakthroughs.
salvajada. Y encima mejora
Take a
un
look
poco
at these images.
mejora tu calidad
The
gráfica.
latest game by Kojima-san. DLSS is sharper than native 4K.
Bueno, está rotísimo. Mira, ahí está, ¿ves? Bueno,
The native rendering didn't even show.
Native
And the frame rate is high.
Neh.
mira, mejora la calidad gráfica y aumentó
Love DLSS
como 35 FPS de golpe.
They say its quality
Qué
takes out
rico.
native rendering and runs even faster. You can
Esa cosa sí
4K
está rota, es más que lo mejor que el RTO.
Tensor Core effectively gives RTX a 2x performance boost. Let's look at one frame trace of a game to see the processors of RTX in action. Adding ray tracing to games dramatically increases the computational workload. Using shaders to do ray traversal and object intersection reduces the frame rate. We added the RT core, which reduces shader workload by 60%. RT core offloads the shaders by doing the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersection calculations. Using the same methodology as Microsoft Xbox, the RT core is effectively a 34 teraflop shader, and Turing has an equivalent of 45 teraflops while ray tracing. Even with RT core, the amount of time consumed is significant. So RT core and shaders have to run concurrently. Even then, 20 milliseconds is only 50 frames per second, and still a step back in performance relative to previous generations. This is where the Tensor Core and DLSS come in. Rendering to a lower resolution, then using AI and super fast Tensor Core to effectively double frame rate. Now you can get ray tracing, get high resolution, and high frame rate at the same time. That's the magic of the three processors of RTX. Turing was our first generation RTX GPU, combining ray tracing, programmable shading, and AI. The
No,
flagship
fin va a
Turing
hablar.
had a ton of processing power. 11 shader teraflops, 34 RT teraflops, and 89 tensor teraflops. Let me show you our new RTX GPU.
Oye,
Ampere
ahora
is
sí,
a
ahora sí.
giant leap in performance. Ampere does 2 shader calculations per clock
A ver.
Oh,
on Turing.
2.7 potencia
Shader teraflops
por
compared to
2.7.
11. Ampere doubles ray triangle intersection throughput. Ampere's RT
1.7
delivers
RT.
58 RT teraflops compared to Turing's 34. And Ampere's new Tensor Core automatically identifies and removes less important DNA weights. And the new Tensor Core hardware processed the sparse network at twice the rate of Turing. 238 tensor flops compared to 89. Ladies and gentlemen, Nvidia's new Ampere GPU, our second generation RTX. 28 billion transistors built on Samsung 8N Nvidia custom process. All three processors double rates over Turing, a triple double. It connects to Micron's new G6X, the fastest memories ever made. The days of just relying on transistor performance scaling is over. Yet Ampere is an incredible 2 times the performance and energy efficiency of Turing. At Nvidia, we use every engineering lever to squeeze every drop of performance out of the system. From architecture, custom process design, circuit design, logic design, packaging, custom SerDes I/O, memory, power and thermal design, PCB design, software and algorithms. Thousands of engineers per generation, billions of dollars. Full stack engineering and extreme craftsmanship is the hallmark of our GPUs. Our performance, energy efficiency, and low power are all world class.
¿Va a decir el precio?
Sí, de hecho que sí. Porque ya vamos a salir. Mira, oh, comparativo de rendimiento, por fin.
Gente, ¿algún comentario simple así?
Comparativo de rendimiento.
Ampere RT Core doubles ray
¿Va a
intersection
ser-
processing.
¿Qué
Este,
dijeron las especificaciones?
sí, mira, más o menos mejor. Mira, en juegos, Shadow of the Tomb Raider mejora 1.7 con RTA. Minecraft, más o menos es entre 60% más.
Sí, sí,
Ajá.
sí. Igual es un full, ¿no?
O sea, 3090 versus 2080 Ti, supongo, ¿no?
It was
Ah,
running on the
chamo.
highest end Turing Quadro RTX 8000. Turing was doing 720p, 25 frames per second. Today, we're going to run an enhanced version of Marbles with even more special effects. And it is running at 1440p, 30 frames per second, over 4 times the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Marbles at night.
Música demo técnica.
Marbles is entirely path traced. No rasterization, all real time. There are hundreds of area lights, including spherical area lights. There's no pre-baking, everything is dynamic. The depth of field is film quality and beautiful. Everything is dynamic. Diffuse GI, all dynamic. There are hundreds of rigid bodies, 80 million triangles. Materials are physically accurate, physics simulation and volumetric rendering in real time. There are hundreds of rigid bodies, 80 million triangles. Materials are physically accurate. DLSS 2.0 is doing the super resolution and AI denoising.
Oh, está gozo las imágenes.
Está bueno, está bueno. Todo en tiempo real, eso es ultra pesado. Casi siempre es precalculado todo.
Oh, está gozo. Cada vez es más real, ¿no?
Marbles Turing and Marbles Ampere. You can see dramatic visual
Solo falta el
quality jump
precio.
of Ampere. Marbles on Turing runs at 720p, 25
Pero quiero ver los
frames.
specs, cuántos CUDA-cores,
Marbles on
qué
Ampere
DDR
runs at
tiene,
1440p,
cuántos
30
Pero eso ya
gigas,
está, eso ya se filtró
more
ya.
than 4 times
El,
the
la
el
30
precio.
and
Ah,
Ampere
el precio cuánto.
even
Pero
to
quiero ver
area
los
lights
specs, cuántos
and depth of field.
CUDA-cores,
A
qué
giant
DDR
performance.
tiene, cuántos
Today's
gigas,
games are giant worlds, indoor and out,
el precio.
with photogrammetry, dense geometry, and lots of characters. Games are over 200 gigabytes and getting bigger. This is like 50,000 songs or 400 hours of streaming video. Games have pushed PC I/O and file systems to the breaking point. CPUs copy files from disk and decompress the game image. This is fine when the storage system was slow, 50 to 100 megabytes per second. Now with Gen 4 PCI Express and solid-state drives, PCs can transfer data at 7 gigabytes per second, 100 times faster. CPU copying data to memory and decompressing game images is now the bottleneck. Decompressing data from 100 megabytes per second hard drives takes only a few CPU cores. However, decompressing from 7 gigabytes per second SSDs on PCIe Gen 4 takes over 20 CPU cores. Today, we're announcing Nvidia RTX I/O with 3 new advances. New I/O APIs for fast loading and streaming directly from SSD to GPU memory. GPU lossless decompression, and collaboration with Microsoft on direct storage for Windows that streamlines the transfer of data from storage to GPU memory. With Nvidia RTX I/O, vast worlds will load instantly. Picking up where you left off will be instant. This is a very big deal for next generation gaming. Let me show you Ampere in action in one of the most anticipated games of 2020. CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk.
No, vamos a mostrar
This
Cyberpunk.
trailer is called Scenes of Cyberpunk RTX. It shows ray trace reflections, diffuse illumination, shadows, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2.0. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, our new flagship GPU, the Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080, powered by Ampere, second generation RTX architecture.
Oh, 3080, 3080. Oye, ¿lo 3090? ¿Qué pasó aquí? ¿Qué pasó aquí? Oh, 3080, 3080. Todos son cosillas. No.
¿Qué carajo?
Eso ya se había filtrado, tiene un diseño raro.
The Nvidia RTX 3080. I have one right here. Let me show it to you.
Gozo.
Sí. Bueno, lo único que va a tener 10
Pero
GB de memoria.
el
lo
precio,
más.
carajo.
Solo 10 GB. Tiene
It is
muy
beautiful.
¿Cuánto tiene? ¿Cuánto tiene?
10 GB.
Gozo.
Bueno,
16 decía, ¿ah?
RTX
Decía
16,
16.
sí.
¿Ah,
Sí, sí,
sí?
Decía
16.
16.
Ah, perdón, es que me quedé con la filtración,
It's
que
gonna
me
look
cuenta medio.
beautiful in
Ah, sí,
¿Cuánto tiene?
16
¿Cuánto
está
tiene?
bien.
in a
10 es
lifetime.
muy poquito.
16
Now
decía.
let me tell you about some of the other exciting technologies
Sí,
inside.
Se ve muy
Tiene
grande.
Turing
DDR6X.
used
Sí,
G6,
sí.
the fastest memories at that time. The industry thought that
Por
was
el
the
precio,
limit.
es lo que me interesa,
For
carajo.
Ampere, we had to push through that limit.
Se ve
Working with
muy-
Micron, we designed the world's first
DDR6X.
memories with
Yo le pongo
50%
800 cocos a eso.
pulse amplitude
Vamos a ver si es
modulation.
cierto.
Por el
With
precio de
four
Está 800
buffer
manos yo
shelves
ahorita
that carry 2 bits
de
of data each.
esa
00,
puta.
01,
Ahorita mismo me la compro.
Oye, pero eso sí consume bastante, aunque quién sabe, ojalá se habían equivocado con esa
Está
So in the
800
same
manos yo
period of
ahorita
time,
de esa
G6X can transmit
puta.
twice as much
Ahorita
data as
mismo me la compro.
G6.
Me compro otro
PAM4
Finder.
is extreme signaling technology.
Verdad, no, yo
and
lo
is
tengo
just
interesante, estoy
becoming
feliz,
used in
porque sí
high-speed
entra.
networking. The Ampere thermal architecture is the first ever flow-through design, working harmoniously with PC chassis cooling system, pulling in cool air from the outside, flowing through the GPU, and pushing hot air straight out the chassis. To allow room for a fan to flow air directly through the module, our engineers architect a super dense PCB design that is 50% smaller than previous, while adding the bigger Ampere GPUs, HDMI 2.1, PCI Express 4.0, and G6X. there are two independently controlled fans. The bracket front fan pulls cool air from the bottom and pushes the heated air out through the graphics card brackets. A backside pull-through fan passes cool air over the fins of the heat pipe and directs the hot air to the top and back of the chassis to be exhausted by the system fan. The 3080 flow-through system is 3 times quieter and keeps the GPU 20 degrees cooler than the Turing design. It can cool 90 watts more than Turing. The generational leap is ultimately the most important factor of new GPUs. A significant technology advance is needed to inspire content developers to create the next level of content and for the install base to upgrade. Let's see how the 3080 stacks up to previous generation architectures on the latest graphics-intensive games. 3080 is faster than 2080
Una
Ti.
mierda.
3080 is twice the performance of 2080 at the same price. Ampere is the biggest generational leap
¿Vieron el
ever
precio?
done.
Una mierda.
Sí. Mismo precio de la
Nvidia
800.
GeForce RTX 3080,
700,
our new flagship GPU,
más o menos.
powered by
Yeah.
Ampere, our
799.
second generation RTX GPU.
700, más o menos.
7 y 8.
Incredible amounts of processing in the
700.
shader, RT ray
Pero
tracing, and tensor
eso quiere decir que el 360 va a estar como 400,
10
500.
gigabytes of
No, es sí, 10 gigas.
Twice the
Oye, que me
processing
quita cada
power
año.
of
¿No?
2080.
Mueve 10 gigas.
And at the
10,
same
puta, yo había leído 16 ahí,
Eso quiere
weón.
decir que el
Ah,
360 va a
empieza a
estar como
700.
400.
Uy, 700 sí es un buen precio.
one of our most popular
Empieza, de repente hay otra versión con más gigas, pues.
970.
Eso dicen los rumores que van a sacar, pero no ellos, sino modelos custom con más memoria de 20
You're
gigas.
gonna love the new RTX 3070.
Mira, 20. ¡Uy, la 3070 más rápida que la 2080
The Turing
¿A cuánto,
enthusiast
cuánto?
GPU priced at
Y menos de 600 cocos.
Ladies and
Oye,
gentlemen,
es mía,
the new
ya es mía.
GeForce RTX 3070. Let me show it to you.
Oye, la 3070.
It's a
Oye, eso ya es mía.
20 shader
Oye,
teraflops,
es mía, ya es mía.
40
Mano,
RT
más
Más
rápido que la
rápido.
2070 y estaba a menos de 600 cocos. Mano, esa va ya la voy a comprar ahorita.
No, 600 es un poco alto, ¿eh? Pero 500 es lo justo.
RTX
Porque las 70 nunca han estado a 600.
Y estaba a menos de
8
8 gigas. Mano, esa va ya la voy a comprar ahorita.
No,
starting at
499.
$499. Available in October.
Porque las 70 nunca han estado a 600. Oye, 600. Oye, el único 8 gigas un poquito corto, ¿eh?
While introducing new features
O-
that enhance
De repente está a 500 cocos, de repente hay una versión con más gigas, un poquito
the
más.
stars align.
O sea, es que esas son las de ellos, pero de ahí sacan los MSI,
Pascal was known as the
VGA, todos sacan sus
Pascal's a
versiones,
huge
pues.
success and set a
Con
very
mejor ventilación, un montón de cosas. Más overclock.
meaningfully exceed Pascal on game
Me llega el cuento
performances
de
without
overclock.
ray
A ver, ese es el rendimiento
With ray
sin ray
tracing turned
tracing.
on, Pascal, using programmable shaders to compute ray triangle intersections, fell far behind Turing's RT core. And Turing with ray tracing on reached the same performance as Pascal with ray tracing off. On a technical basis, this was a huge achievement. The images are far more beautiful, and reflection and shadow artifacts are gone. But gamers wanted more. They want every generation to be more realistic and higher frame rate at the same time. So we double down on everything. Twice the shader, twice the ray tracing, and twice the tensor core. The triple double. Ampere knocks the daylights out of Pascal on ray tracing. And even with ray tracing on, crushes Pascal on frame rate. To all my Pascal gamer friends, it is safe to upgrade now. Amazing ray tracing games are coming. Activision and developer Treyarch are launching a new Call of Duty on November 13th. It's a masterpiece and it looks incredible. There are dynamic lights, ray tracing, shadows and ambient occlusion, DLSS 2.0, and Nvidia Reflex super low latency technology. The last Call of Duty sold an amazing 30 million copies. Activision put together this trailer of never before seen footage.
Call of Duty con...
Enjoy.
Yo vi el trailer en vivo, ¿no? Está chorado. Yo vi el trailer en vivo, ¿no? Está chorado.
Let me talk to you about one more thing. Several years ago, we started building the Titan, pushing the GPU to the absolute limit to create the best graphics card of that generation. It was built in limited quantities only through Nvidia. The distribution was limited. The demand surprised us. Creatives were making 4K movies, rendering cinematics. Researchers built workstations for data science and AI. Bloggers built broadcast workstations. Flight and racing simulation fans built sim rigs. There is clearly a need for a giant GPU that is available all over the world. So we made a giant Ampere. Ladies and gentlemen, the RTX 3090.
Ahí está, la 3090. Que es un monstruo. Voy a echarle la cocina.
Como da gente, algo.
Mira
¿Cuál es el
eso.
update?
Es un
Mira,
ladrillo.
3090.
Beast, a ferocious GPU.
Ahora vamos a ver el
The
precio.
GPU.
1400 decían que
Nueva
está, lleva
gente,
esta.
ah.
Vamos a ver si es por ahí.
¿Cuál es el update?
69 RT teraflops, 285
Ahora vamos a
tensor
ver el precio.
teraflops, and it comes with a massive 24 gigabytes of G6X.
Ah, 1500. Casi
It
se
comes with a silencer, a 3-slot dual axle flow-through design, 10 times quieter, and keeps the GPU 30 degrees cooler than the Titan RTX design. But there's more. The 3090 is so big that for the very first time, we can play games at 60 frames per second in 8K. This is insane. Because it's
8K,
impossible for us to show you what it
Oh, de
looks
60
like.
FPS en 8K,
We
está
invited
bien.
some friends to check it out.
Pero justo, pues.
Roll the clip.
Ni siquiera tengo un monitor 8K, pero
No, pero tengo una tele 8K. No, ya hay aquí, pero. Oh, de 60 FPS en 8K. Está bien.
dices.
Sí hay, ¿eh? Están un poquitín cara, fácil.
Ni siquiera tengo un
Más,
monitor.
más de 10.000 lucas esto.
Ah, un sencillo.
Sí, sí. Gama baja. 8K con Ray Tracing. Ah, qué locura.
Ah, un sencillo.
Incredible, dude.
This is amazing.
8K con Ray Tracing.
This is sick. God, you can see wear
Mano,
and
se debe ver muy achorado.
this. Why is it so detailed? All right. Move fast and shoot things.
This is 8K, sir. I can see everything. Oh, I need to shoot you though.
Not a whole lot of people have seen something like this.
This is so realistic. I feel like I'm really in battle.
This is insane. Di, I want to look at the pretty things. There we go. Dude, the ray tracing is insane on this.
These are the sizzle reels that you see.
This is basically hacks.
And then it's like, it'll never look like that. But it does.
I'm like looking across the vistas, the grand vistas that are happening right now.
Holy sh! Look at this.
This feels like a Disneyland experience. Oh, it is so smooth. It's butter.
Oh, it's smooth as dude.
I can't believe it's not butter.
I mean, this is game changing. There's no other way to put it. My mind is blown, dude.
8K, pero.
It's been 20 years since the Nvidia GPU introduced programmable shading. The GPU revolutionized modern computer graphics.
Joder, qué bien ese
Developers
precio.
jumped on
Y no se le fue la
clever
mano.
algorithms, like shaders that simulate realistic
A
materials.
500 cocos me parece un precio
Post-processing
accesible,
effects for
¿ah?
soft shadows, ambient occlusion.
Yo pensaba que iba a estar 600, la verdad. 500 está bien.
Developers pushed the limits of
O
rasterization
sea,
beyond any
en realidad el 970 salió a 350. ¿eh?
Nvidia GPU
O sea,
processing
han subido un
increased
montón de
a
precio.
stunning
Pero,
100,000
pero me esperaba
Gaming
peor.
became a powerful
En realidad
technology
el
driver.
970.
Pero
Gamers
8K.
grew to billions. And gaming
Ah, esa
pushed
cosa.
into all
Ah, el
aspects
de.
of
Ese sí, pues.
culture. If
Es
the last
monstruo.
20 years
Es más, la
was
Titan
amazing,
estaba más de
the next
$2.000.
20 will seem
Así
nothing
que
short of
ahí
science.
hay un montón de ahorro.
Pero la serie 20 estaba bien cara, ¿no?
Pero la 2070 salió $450, creo. Igual le han metido una subida.
The second generation Nvidia RTX, fusing programmable
Pero acá cuesta
shading,
más caro.
ray tracing, and artificial intelligence, gives us photorealistic graphics and the highest frame rates at the same time. Once the holy grail of
¿Y
computer
cuándo salen a la venta hoy día?
ray
¿O
tracing is
cuándo?
now the standard.
Hoy día mismo ya está en Perú.
And
Ya.
Ampere is going to bring you
Yo me
joy
voy a comprar
beyond
ahorita.
gaming.
Ay, acá,
Nvidia
que
reflex
van a
is
estar en Perú.
improving
¿no?
response time.
No, primero salen estas, de ahí salen los modelos de los terceros, que esos son los que la mayoría de gente compra.
Turns you into an animated film.
Esos son los que le meten más gigas, mejor ventilación, esas bajas.
3070, 3080,
Sí, fácil.
3090. The first three members of the Ampere
Aunque esa ventilación ya es
generation.
buena. O sea, le meten más velocidad. O sea, son un toque más rápidos
I
todavía.
can't wait to go
Y cuesta más
forward
caro, obvio.
to see what RTX
Pero
Homes will have
vale la pena porque es $20-30 más los modelos
ourselves
básicos.
through time and space,
Ah,
traveling
mano.
at the speed of light,
Es un sencillo.
sending
Cuesta más
photons,
caro,
not
obvio.
atoms. In this future, GeForce is your holodeck, your Lightspeed starship,
Ah,
your
mano.
time machine.
Son
In this
sencillos.
future, we will look back and realize
No, porque la 2070 acá está
thank you for joining
2600
us
soles.
today, and to all of our fans for celebrating
No,
with
hay
a
de
live
menos.
event here. In this future, we will look back and realize
No, porque la 2070 acá está
thank you for joining
2600
us
soles.
today, and to all of our fans for
No,
celebrating
hay de
with a live
menos.
¿Quién acabó?
Sí, ya acabo ya. Está bien, ¿no? Es verdad, mi pata de las tarjetas dice que la empresa de Antrix dice que van a traer tarjeta. Así que fácil están más baratas. Sí, ya acabo ya.
Oh, hermano,
Está bien,
dime,
¿no?
weón.
Es verdad,
Yo
mi pata
le pago
las
ahorita si
tarjetas dice
quieres.
que la empresa de Antrix dice que van a traer tarjeta. Oye,
Firme,
oye,
¿eh?
sí, no, sí, van a traer de hecho tarjetas. Van a traer unas de una marca Ino 3D. Que sí, he visto comentarios y sí, es chill.
Yo pago
Oye,
capricho.
no, sí, yo de hecho la 3070 ya es mía, ya es mía, me esperaba algo peor. Pero bueno, falta también que AMD mueva ficha, pero no creo que haga algo tan bueno.
Yo pago capricho.
Fácil,
Puta.
saca lo mismo a $100 menos, pero sin RT, o sea, con menos tecnología, pues.
¿Cómo puede estar tan cara esa
Saca
mierda?
lo mismo a $100 menos, pero sin RT, o sea, con menos tecnología, pues.
3070 sale a la venta en un mes todavía, ¿no? ¿Cómo
¿Verdad?
puede estar tan cara esa
Luego voy a chequear
mierda?
las noticias en el Chapu.
3070 sale a la venta en un mes todavía, ¿no?
¿Verdad?
3060 no, no han dicho ni mierda de eso, ¿no?
No, eso sale siempre después.
3070 sale a la venta en
A
un mes todavía, ¿no?
ver.
3060 no, no han dicho ni mierda de eso, ¿no?
No, eso sale siempre después.
Puta, pero 8 GB de RAM.
Muy
8
cortito,
GB de
¿no?
RAM, 8 GB.
8 GB de
La
RAM.
que yo tengo ahorita tiene 8 GB, ¿no?
Sí, la mía también.
Puta, pero 8 GB de RAM.
Muy
Se la han
cortito.
metido. ¿Y cuánto dijo que iba a costar la 380?
Sí, la mía también. 700.
700. ¿Y cuánto
No
dijo que
hay,
iba a
no hay
costar
tanta diferencia de
la
precio,
380?
¿no?
No, pues. Son 200 cocos.
700.
700.
No hay tanta diferencia de precio, ¿no?
No, pues. Tienen los modelos de la Zotac. 3 ventiladores.
Las que van a traer son estas, mira, porque ya se filtraron antes de la presentación.
Pero esas acá que estoy viendo tienen los ventiladores diferentes, ¿no? 3 ventiladores. No tienen como que la
Las que van a traer
ventilación de
son estas,
los
mira, porque ya se filtraron
de la que acaban de
antes de la
anunciar.
presentación. Claro, pues porque son de terceros. Los de terceros